a cordon of police and the alley formed by people carrying Latvian flags mean it was time yet again for the annual march of Latvian war veterans and the usual counter-demonstrations claiming that this glorifies the Nazi occupation and the grim past of Latvia. Counter-demonstrators this time surprised the marchers by playing some extremely loud sirens just as the head of the march approached, and also by playing recordings of wartime Soviet songs that naturally distressed some of the marchers and inevitably led to some confrontations between supporters of the Latvian war veterans and the counter-demonstrators, who, as we can see here, were guarded by a cordon of Latvian riot police. The counter-demonstrators also played a recorded lecture of what were crimes and atrocities committed by the German forces in Latvia, and they also claimed that there was a link between this and some of the activities of the Latvian Waffen-SS. The Latvian crowd responded, as they often do, by singing romantic wartime songs, such as this one about a soldier longing for his girlfriend and her blue kerchief left behind in Latvia. There was a confrontation with the counter-demonstrators in it, which at least one person was arrested, and there was, of course, this amusing spelling mistake using Russian instead of Latvian letters in one of the signs.
How do you see the resurrection of the Nazi movements in this old Veterans March? I mean, probably most of them were not members of the Nazi Party. You know, could they have been?
Well, they were members of the Waffen-SS. The Waffen-SS was the group that committed many of the atrocities. Now, some say they were drafted, some were not. It's hard to know which were the child murderers and which were the soldiers. In any event, it is not appropriate to honor their memory as a symbol of Latvian independence, of Latvian freedom, of Latvian liberty. Indeed, this week we're very pleased that the Seme, the Latvian parliament, rejected an attempt to make this an official holiday. I think there are many, many people of goodwill here. I think there are elements that believe Hitler was something important and valuable. And that is why we traveled so far, to make sure that there are witnesses. Never again is not something that you can assure sitting in an armchair in New York City. They are often symbolized by older people, but populated by younger people who find in that ideology the same things that some younger people found attractive in the 1930s. If you look at the culture, you look at, for example, these playing cards, where there are posters and the memorabilia of the Nazi regime. I mean, the Nazi.
No, these are contemporary.
We just bought these today in Latvia.
From where?
In a store. These are not hard to find. And when you see this, you understand that you can't be passive in the face of this kind of stuff. You know, there is freedom of speech, and we're not here to say to people they can't say these things, but we're here to say that the answer to that is tell the truth.
I don't want to see in my city, in Riga, where I was born and all my life I'm living in Riga, I don't want to see the marches which are glorificate Waffen-SS Legion. This is the main. I say that to commemorate killed soldiers, it's very holy thing, but they have to do it on the cemeteries, around the graves, maybe around the memorials, but not under the state's flags, not under the state symbol monument of freedom in Riga. Because Waffen-SS Legion, it wasn't Latvian army, it wasn't that army which can bring any freedom and independence for Latvia. In Hitler plans there wasn't independent country Latvia, and they didn't any word said about about Latvian people. He said that Latvian people must be assimilated and used like a cheap labor on the east territories. But here must be in his plan here must be Ostland, the eastern province of Third Reich. So these guys which are organizing these marches, they want to they glorify Waffen-SS Legion.
So there it was, another March 16th, as the real events behind it recede into the past. Maybe it is time for a dialogue and an attempt to reach a single version of Latvia's complicated and violent past.